Welcome back to Sip2Tally Films. I'm your host, Coach Evans. And today we're going to be talking about one of the coolest stories coming out of Baltimore Ravens training camp this year. The son of former Super Bowl MVP, Ladarius Webb, was picked up as a UDFA, Ladarius Webb Jr. And what are his chances of making the 53-man roster? Let's dive into it and talk about Webb Sr. and Webb Jr. for a little while. Welcome back to Sip2Tally Films. Roll the intro. Welcome back. If you're here, hit that like button. It helps the channel tremendously and it doesn't cost you much. So go ahead real quick, tap that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that as well. When you do subscribe, hit that bell so you can be notified when the rest of this content drops throughout the 2026 off season and the upcoming training camp and preseason and season going forward. So with that being said, let's get started. But before we get into Webb Jr., let's start off with Webb Sr. He's a third-round pick from Nickel State. One of Ozzy's biggest steals ever. Didn't expect much out of Webb. He came out and played a tremendous role in his seasons with Baltimore. Actually, I was on the team that won the Super Bowl in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, New Orleans. Not sure the number that was, but it was 2012. Was very versatile in his skill set. Played nickel, played corner, played a little safety, toward the back end. Was tough, extremely tough. Small frame, but extremely tough, extremely versatile, extremely clutch. What really helped him last and stick and stay in that defense was his football IQ. Extremely heady person, ball hawk, get the ball out, make tackles. He was a complete DB. My question is to you, with all the success that Webb had with the Baltimore Ravens, where does he rank among all-time corners with Baltimore? You got some heavy hitters out there. You got Chris McAllister, you got Marlon Humphreys, you got Jimmy Smith, Tamari Rowe, you got Ladarius Webb. Where does Webb fit into the hierarchy of Baltimore Ravens corners? All right, let's get started with Webb's background first. Now, what I didn't know prior to doing research for this video is that Webb has Mississippi ties. How he got to Mississippi, I do not know. Not my concern. But he played at Jackson Academy. Now, Jackson Academy in the past 5 to 10 years, I've been gone that long. I've been gone at least that long. I had started to pull talent to be able to win games. Jackson Academy is a private school in Jackson, Mississippi. They've started to pull talent to win games. And if you know, you know. I'll leave it at that. But he played there and got a scholarship to JUCO in Mississippi, Northwest Mississippi. They're the Bobcats, and that's where he started his collegiate career at junior college. Played there a little while, and then went on to South Alabama. South Alabama is, let's see, from Northwest. South Alabama is probably 2.5, maybe 3 hours. From there, so that he didn't travel far to go to school. From there, he went to Oklahoma State, and then transferred on to Wake Forest. And so, he's a well-traveled young man, and in this time of college football, that's kind of normal. You have to, unless you own the P4 school, you pretty much gonna treat everything like a junior college. Go there, get you some good film, try to move up. And that's what he did. JUCO, South Alabama is lowered, might be D2 if I'm not mistaken. Then went up to D1 at Oklahoma State. Then I think he probably was there when all the stuff went down with Mike Gundy, who's a man, he's 40, and finished out at Wake Forest. So, and then, that translated into an opportunity to come to Baltimore and I want to say try out, but at least compete for a roster spot, if not compete for a practice squad spot. And him being in Baltimore is really going to help because the name is known. He may get a shot that he probably wouldn't get, anywhere else because of his legacy. And, not to say that his name is going to get him on the team, but his name will get him in buildings and maybe get him, maybe one more opportunity than the normal person would, honestly, if you want to keep it a buck. So going back and watching a couple games of Ladarius Webb, and highlights and full games. These are the few things that kind of stood out to me. Like I won't say it's a once over, but I didn't study it, but I just wanted to kind of see what kind of player he was and what stood out on an initial watch. He had great ball skills, which is something Pops had. Pops could go get that football. Ain't no way to sugarcoat that. Pops can go get that football. He has the ability to go do that as well. Competitive at the catch point. He's not gonna just give up on catches. Like if receiver, if you catch it, you're gonna have to put it away and finish the catch because he gonna fight, kick, scratch, claw, everything to get that ball out. Really good football instincts. I don't know. He's not at the level of dad with the IQ and ability to see things happen before they actually transpire, but you can see that pedigree's in there. That the film study would probably help him out. And he's probably going to be a film study guy. Like he has to know what's going to transpire before he gets on the field to be able to make plays. I don't think he has the overall athleticism to see stuff, react, and go get it. I think he has to see a formation. Okay, they run this, this, and this, and this. So I need to be here and make plays like that. Obviously got the NFL pedigree. Been around the game, seen how much work it takes to be successful, can hear it on a daily basis, knows how much that, his dad is beloved in Baltimore because of the way he played. And it's a thing where, that bloodline gives you a little bit advantage because, if you don't put in a certain amount of work or be good at certain things, you won't be there long. You won't be there long. One thing about this is, and this probably doesn't help him because of the new staff, but had John still been there, his ability to do things on special teams would probably help him. Well, ain't a problem, would really help him. I don't know how much that's going to help him with this new staff, but I know with excuse me, with John, if John was still there, he definitely have a leg up on special teams if he could do punt return, kickoff return. Reasons for concern that Webb just may not make it, and being 100% honest, he's undrafted for a reason. And I mean that reason could be a number of different things, but you got 7 rounds, approximately 32 picks each round. He's undrafted for a reason. So, just keep that in mind and take our purple shades off when we look at Webb, and not just because of, Pops, but just be realistic about it. He has a limited room for error. Like, as I talked about, with his last name, he may get an extra shot because of the last name that a normal person wouldn't get, but his margin for error is not huge at all. Athletic ceiling, which is what I talked about, he's not the athlete that Pops was. That's why I was mentioned earlier about him needing to be a film study guy and see formations, recognize route combos, and anticipate things like that. And also, just being 100, Ravens secondary is freaking loaded. Well, on paper is loaded. On paper, the Ravens secondary is loaded. You look at the cornerbacks. You look at, I'm gonna see if I can run these names off top of my head. Wiggins. See, I drew a blank just then. Marlon Humphreys. Woozier. We drafted the kid from Duke, Rivers. You got Kone. You got Longerbean. You got TJ Tampa, who I almost forgot. Then safety, you got Kyle. You got the kid from New England. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. You got Starks. That's a lot in that secondary right there. That's a lot of odds to overcome. I mean, ceiling for him might be just the practice squad, honestly. Especially depending on what Kone and Longerbeam do when they come back off of injury. Throwing all those names out there, Marlon, Nate, TJ Tampa, all those names I just named, it's gonna be tough for him to get in there. Cornerback, and then I mentioned, the guys at safety. Jalen Hawkins is the name I forgot a minute ago. Kyle Malachi, all those other guys. It's gonna be tough, but is there a way that he can make the roster? I only see one way: gunner, kick coverage, punt coverage. I just don't see him making it as a corner, and if he does make it, obviously gonna make it as a corner because that's what he play. I just don't see him get on the field as a corner. That's what I meant to say. It's just unless a bunch of injuries happen, and I pray that don't happen. Will it be a great story if he makes the roster? Yes, it'd be a great feel good story, something that the Ravens media can run with. I really just don't see it happening though. So that's the question I'm gonna end with. You guys put it in the comment section. Do you think Webb has a legit chance to make the roster? And do you see a path to him making the roster? And if your answer is yes, put it in the comment section. I would really like to see, how you guys feel about Ladarius Webb Jr. But again, shout out to Pops for being a Super Bowl champion and you know putting the time in to groom Junior and get him in a position to where he has an opportunity. A lot of us don't like the NEP, but in this case, the NEP gave him a chance to make an NFL roster. Will he make it? It's totally on him now. And the name gave him an opportunity, but we'll see. And again, put that stuff down in the comment section, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.